Let my tree bear good fruit so I can be used by you.
You are hearing the song Used by You from my dear friends, Tori and Shauna. You can find their latest album, Share Your Love Volume 2, wherever you stream your favorite songs. I'm recording once again from my studios here in Hilliard, Ohio, powered by the Spot Athletics. I can't wait for you to meet today's guest. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like, share on all your platforms. For now, let's get into today's episode. All right, everybody, welcome back to Unscripted from my studios here in Hilliard, Ohio, powered by the Spot Athletics. I'm excited today. I got one of my hometown guys on, one of Austin, my son's favorite teammates. Man, Gage, how are you?
Man, I've been good. All
right, so let's start at the beginning. First of all, you're Gage Keys, and you're from Hilliard, Ohio. Mom and dad still live here?
Yeah, so they're in London right now at Choctaw Lake. So they just got done renovating and doing like that. So basically, yeah, that's going to be the new spot when I come home and stuff to hang out or whatnot.
London, Ohio?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's up in London. Yeah.
For a minute, I thought they were at the coronation with the king this week.
Oh, no.
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 All right. Well, good for them. Yeah, it's good. And your sister is, what's she doing then?
She's at Elizabeth City, North Carolina, playing volleyball. So she's been having a really good time there. Been trying to watch and kind of follow along through social media, I guess, how that's been going and stuff. So.
Well, Gage is my guy. So Gage played on a team with Austin. How you're young? You're younger than Austin?
Yeah. I'm 1 year younger. Yeah.
You're younger than Austin. So you're a junior? You're going, okay. You going into your senior season or junior?
Yeah, so senior year, technically, like academics-wise, I'll graduate from school in the fall from KU. So I'll get that degree like in December. And then eligibility-wise, I have technically 3 years left. So I could be here for up to 3 years if I wanted to.
Come on.
Do kind of whatever with that. So it just depends on how the season goes and whatnot. But
wait, so you got 3 years of eligibility left?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy how it works. Like, so my freshman year was COVID, so that year didn't count. And then I had medical redshirt in my second year because I had shoulder surgery.
Right.
So then my third year I played, and that was my first year, like, using eligibility. So technically I don't have 3 years left after that.
So do you know who, you might not know who this name is because it's a throwback. Do you know who Perry Ellis is?
Definitely. Yeah. Well, Kansas. Yeah, he played basketball. I remember watching him play, actually. I was real young, though.
So there's kind of an ongoing thing that it seemed like Perry Ellis was at Kansas forever. So it's kind of funny that you could possibly be like on that Perry Ellis plan.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, for real. I remember it.
All right. Well, so let's start at the beginning, man. You graduate from Davidson, and it's been a minute. So you're a return guest, and we're working on some stuff. So everybody just needs to know we're working on some plans with my guy Gage. So, stay tuned for that. But let's start at the beginning, man. You graduate, you chose Minnesota. And as you said, you had the path that you just talked about. Let's talk about Minnesota, man. How was it playing in the Big Ten? You didn't get to play a lot because you said you had COVID and then the injury. So, but what was it like playing in the Big Ten?
Playing in the Big Ten, it was cool. It was like a dream come true almost, just because like living in Big Ten country and like watching that, all the time, Ohio State, Indiana, things like that. It was real cool to experience. I got to play with a lot of really good players, and I got to get coached by a lot of really good coaches. So it was a really good experience all in all. I think that kind of all worked together to help make me the player and person I am today. I met some of my best friends there. I met my current girlfriend there. So I've been really grateful for a lot of the people that I met there. And it was a really good time. Minneapolis is a nice area. Not a lot of people really know too much about it, like I guess from Ohio, from that standpoint. But I feel like it was a really cool place to live. So there was a lot to do out there. It was fun.
So what were some of the schools you looked at before you chose Minnesota?
So throughout high school, Cincinnati was really big, and I was close to home. I had early connection with them since I was like early in high school. So that was a big one. Indiana also was very close to home. They recruited me pretty hard. Them three I took official visits to in high school, actually. But then I had went on visits to Michigan State, Kentucky, Penn State, Ohio State, like a lot of the Big Ten schools I had taken visits to. So that was mainly kind of like who recruited me throughout high school and whatnot.
And you've got history and lineage in your family. Your mom was Indiana, right?
Yep.
And your dad was Wake Forest?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you got some history in the family. So was there ever pressure when you were in the recruiting phase from the family to be like, hey, you got to go there? No?
No, I don't have any pressure at all. They were kind of just like, yeah, it's your decision. Like, we'll support you either way. So it was pretty good though. It was nice. I got to experience all of that, like recruiting in high school, and also like it was cool to be able to get recruited by both of their schools. So I had taken visits to Wake Forest and Indiana. It was kind of cool to go on those trips with them and like hear them talk about their old like stories and things like that from college. So I was really grateful to be able to have parents that had like helped me get me in that situation and be able to experience like the process with them more now.
They're great parents. And, Austin ended up going where I went, and that's Mount Vernon. He graduated this week. There's something special about that. So it's pretty cool though that they let you, choose your own path and not force you to go where where they went. So, all right. So what would you tell your younger self right now? And we're going to get into the transfer portal and things like that in a minute, but what would you tell your younger self right now, knowing what you know now about recruiting and visits and all that? What would you tell your younger self?
I would say don't pay attention to any of the materialistic stuff about it. So like as far as like things like facilities and like how nice stuff looks and like things like that, like brands like Nike, Adidas, whatever, like don't pay attention to any stuff like that. Kind of focus on like who really wants you, like, and who really can maximize your potential in the right way to where you're going to be happy, they're going to be happy, and it's going to be like a really good connection. It's really about the people, a lot about the people. So how well you connect with players that are on the team currently and how well you connect with coaches is a very big part of kind of the whole like recruiting process. So that's pretty much the advice I give myself.
Did you, we probably covered this on the first episode, but you were a baller too. You played hoop. So,
oh yeah.
Did you ever look at hoop as instead of football?
So to be honest, most of my high school career, yeah, I didn't realize I wasn't going to play college basketball until I was literally like junior in high school and like had like Larry Johnson from Ohio State coming to school like for football. Like I'm just like, okay, I should probably like focus more on this football thing. But I really enjoyed basketball a lot throughout high school, and that was my favorite sport all growing up. I put a lot of time and effort into basketball. Like honestly, like compared to football, like before like high school stuff, like I did mostly basketball training. Like I was really serious in basketball. I played AAU year round on like top teams and stuff like that. So really like that was my main focus. And then like kind of like once like high school started going and I was playing football and like goals are coming in before I had really like dedicated myself to it in the same way as basketball. That's kind of when I realized like, okay, I could really like do something special with like the whole football field scene.
Are you happy with the decision you made?
Oh yeah, I'm very happy. I'm in a very, very fortunate situation right now. And so it's been a blessing. I've got to learn a lot about myself as well on the journey. So like, I feel like, I wouldn't trade it for the world, the whole experience and everything. So yeah, I'm happy with my decision.
Do you still get to hoop?
Not as much as I'd like to. And here's what I like. But so like when I'm playing basketball, I want to really play. Like, and I want to be able to like, cause like for me, I can't hoop the way I used to. Like I had shoulder surgery at my side. It hurts to shoot the ball. Like I'm getting heavier playing D-line. Like I can't really just run around how I used to. So like for me to play basketball, I have to really lock in. Like I can't accept going out there. Like some guys will just go out there, just play around. Like I can't just like play around. Like I played it too long. Like it's got to be serious. So it's something where like I would love to just go out and play all the time, but right now that's just not where I'm at. Now when I'm older, like you're gonna see me in like the old men's leagues. I'm gonna play basketball when I'm older for sure. Like
what do they call that? The Kingdom League from our guys at 270 Unscripted. Yeah, 270 hoops, man. I know I'm gonna see Gage out there with like Jared Sullinger. He's probably gonna be pushing about 3 bills at that point. He's gonna be about 50, and Gage is gonna be out there just dunking on it.
Yeah, hooping. Yes, of course. I definitely love it.
Shout out Jared Sullinger, man. I don't even know him, but
that was a big role model for me growing up too, Jared. For sure. So
yeah. Well, so let's speak to it because I think you spoke to it again on the first episode, but let's speak to the team that you were on. I know, to this day, man, that's Austin's brothers. He speaks so highly and, he played baseball, like you, he chose baseball versus football, but man, that team that you guys were on was special. And Coach Congrove, that was really special, right?
Yeah, facts. That was one of the best experiences in sports that I've had, just because like the success that we had was really just based off how close we was to each other and like how like cool and connected everyone was. And like being like a college athlete now and looking back, like I can see that's why we had success for real, because like we might not always have like the most basketball talent. Now we had a lot of talented athletes and we had some real good players. Like, don't get me wrong. But like, as far as like basketball, you know, some of the teams we end up playing in the playoffs, that guys dropping 40, that's like 6-8. Like, so I don't know. But the way we was able to hang in and kind of win games like that, like the Western South games back when I was a freshman, like games like that's really based off the bond kind of we had with each other. And that's kudos to the coaching staff. Like, they did a really good job with us, but also just like the guys, like buying in and being connected and things like that. So.
It's funny, when Austin was a freshman at Mount Vernon, there was a guy, you guys knocked out Taze Valley in the first round, and their best player, I don't remember his name off the top of my head, Ryan, I think his name is, but we were walking around campus and he didn't realize Austin played, you know, at Davidson, and they got to talking and he said, man, that team was huge.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, the shortest player was about what, 6'4", 6'3"?
Yeah. No, yeah, it was Max.
It was a lot of giants. And so that was funny to hear from somebody else from their school. But all right. So you go to Minnesota, couple of tough years, COVID, injury. So let's talk about the injury first. How did it happen and what was the rehab like?
So basically it happened in the spring of my second year. So this was right after the COVID season, which a lot of the COVID season, I had COVID a lot during that time. So I was quarantined like more than I wasn't COVID. So like, I was really excited to get out there and like be able to have an opportunity to kind of show what I could do. And then my shoulder, I got hurt. So I missed spring ball and fall camp my second year. And like, fall camp's really the most important like thing out of the year for like playing wise, like as guys who haven't played, like that's the chance for you to prove yourself and ultimately get on the field. So I missed spring ball and that. And so I got back like 3/4 of the way through the season. And at that point, like I was still rehabbing. Like I wasn't able to play in any games. And the rehab process, it was long and it was definitely frustrating because I got to see a lot of my friends on the team out there playing and stuff. And, you know, you just want to be out there with them because like, you put all the work in and stuff. So like, it was definitely hard. And it was definitely kind of one of the hardest experiences I think I've been through just because I was in college. I got injured in high school before, but it was different because like I have my family. I was still going to school like in person and stuff. Like I still have my friends that like I grew up with. So like, it was like easy to kind of get through it. But then like, in college, like being alone, I'm not necessarily alone because I had some really good like friends and teammates that like, helped me out through it. But like not having your parents there, just being far away from home in general, like it was kind of hard, you know, to get through that. But I mean, it made me definitely stronger and made me appreciate the game of football a lot more because like I don't think up to that point I had really appreciated it for what it was and for the opportunity that it had given me. So like being out and getting able to watch and like taking yourself out of like the heat of the moment. And getting to see it kind of from like a helicopter view, I feel like it really like showed me that like I need to give more to it and really I can get a lot out of it. Like work hard and push myself.
So is PJ Fleck what he appears to be?
It depends. It depends who you are, you know. That's probably a subject I'm not going to really talk too much about until
that's cool. That's probably
after I'm out of college. Yeah, no, after college is over, I'll definitely kind of explain more about that situation. But yeah.
Not a fair question. So let me ask, is he as inspiring as he appears to be?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, not to me exactly.
Cool. All right. We'll leave it at that. Appreciate that. And that wasn't, neither one of those were fair questions. So,
that's all good.
So either way, you decided to transfer. So, well, let me ask you this really quick. When you were in Big Ten country, did you travel with the team when you were injured? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so when I was injured, my second year when I was injured, I didn't. But my third season, the one that I actually got to play, like this last year, I got to play. And so I traveled all the games and stuff. So it was good. I was definitely great.
Did you play at the shoe or was it at home?
No, we did not. We actually did not play Ohio State last year. We played them the year before. It was the first game of the season I was hurt. So that kind of hurt too, because I was like, damn, I really wanted to be out there for that one.
Yeah.
But obviously, I had to miss that opportunity. But no, I wish I would have been out there for that. All been fine.
So I see your car. Well, I used to see your car down the street at our guy Dylan's house. So you guys were getting after it in the basement for a while. Are you guys still connect? Do you still do that?
Yeah, for sure. Anytime I'm home, we'll definitely work out. Anytime, like, I'll ask him questions and stuff, and I'll text him like whatnot. But he's really into like working out and like rehab, things like that too, just like me. So like we kind of connect and like talk about different things, and like sometimes like talk about the future and things we want to do, like business wise, things like that. But definitely I stay in contact with him a good amount. And, that's one of the big one guys that kind of really, he like was one of the first people who really helped me like to push myself like past kind of what I thought I could do as far as like working out and things like that. So like I definitely appreciate him. So I definitely stay in contact all the time for sure.
Yeah, Deep Bunyek's a good one, man. And that's cool. You guys still have a brotherhood even, as you've moved on to other things. So all right, injury happens, COVID happens. Last year you got to play. So let's talk transfer portal, because I don't understand it. I think we all talk about it. We all see it, we being fans. What is the process of the decision? And then what do you have to do as an athlete, like to go through the transfer portal? What does that even mean?
So basically, like the decision is kind of like the hardest part, I would say. Like once you like got through that, and I'll get back to that, but once you like get through that, like as far as entering the portal, you just kind of email your school's compliance, and then you just tell them like I would like to enter my name into the portal, and then like depending on your sport, there's like different windows where it actually like opens, and so there's these certain dates, and they'll tell you like the dates or whatever. So like the people who email you back will be like, okay, like it opens on this day, so your name will be officially in on this day. Boom, you just got to fill out some paperwork, like sign your name, and then they'll put you in there. And once you're in the portal and the portal's open, like you can get contacted by any schools. They can recruit you. It's just like high school here. They'll recruit you. Right. They'll call you, things like that. And they'll set up visits like real fast, because like the transfer portal windows aren't very long. So you want to get your visits set, and kind of like, it's really a quick process, like quicker than high school. You got like really like you're on the clock to decide almost. So yeah, pretty simple as far as going in. And then like the decision, it just depends. Like everybody's situation is different, and different people kind of leave schools for different reasons and want to seek different opportunities. So it's kind of case by case, I would say. But I feel like some of the like portrayal of it, I guess, on social media is kind of negative. Right. As with like most like change and like things that are like new and different. A lot of people kind of sometimes can be a little closed-minded to it. But I would just tell like fans, like in general, like I wouldn't like, don't like judge people for leaving and transferring schools, because you don't know what could have been going on like in the background. Like it could have had nothing to do with the sport or like their love for the school or anything like that. It could be based on something completely different. And like that's kind of something that everyone I feel like has to respect about other people, because you never know like what somebody's going through. So that's kind of my little take on the transfer portal. But I think it's a great opportunity for college athletes for sure.
I think so too. And, you've mentioned a few things. If we just look back, if we rewinded the tape of our conversation, you had a chance to you visited schools that your mom and dad both went to. You mentioned shoes, right? Nike. You played hoop. And so, the influence in AAU of the Nikes and the Adidas and the Under Armours now and other shoe companies. There's a lot of factors when you're an 18-year-old kid, trying to make a decision, right? And, I think a lot of kids will make a decision based on money, based on, a one-day visit to a college. Can you really know? And I agree with you in terms of that. I think it's fair. And then, there's things like playing time. And now, the transfer portal, what has opened up in the transfer portal is you might have gone as a freshman thinking you were going to fill a slot on the team, via a lineman, for example. And then your sophomore year, the transfer portal, they go get a guy from Ohio State, Florida State, I'm just, Miami, whatever, that comes in and he takes your job. Well, now that, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of factors in play. Is that fair? When you're that athlete, like, is it fair to say that that's the transfer portal goes both ways, not just one?
It does. Yeah. Facts. It definitely does go both ways. And certain people, like my second year, the year that I was out, like we had gotten like, I think 2 or 3 D-line transfers, like from other big time. We had a Clemson D-line transfer, actually 2 Clemson D-line transfers while I was there. And so like things like that can definitely like sometimes be a little unfair, I guess you could say. But then at the same time, it's like, all right, like once those guys get there, like it's kind of up to you to kind of work through it and see what the situation's like. Cause like maybe a lot of the times guys like that, they'll be like grad transfers. So they'll only have 1 year of eligibility. So if you like, depending on how much work you put in and where you're at before they get there, like you can play and then you can be the next guy up after they leave and still have a lot of eligibility. So it kind of depends. And I just don't think like situation, it's weird now. It's definitely weird, but I don't like, it can really go either way, like you said.
I think there's, the old school mentality would be probably the age that your parents and I are is the old school mentality would be if they bring in somebody else, then you work harder and you beat them out. And so I think that's easy for, me to say, because I'm a fan. I've never played the game. I've never been in your position. I think it's easy for people to say, oh, just work harder. Well, I mean, but if they bring in a fifth year who's played at a high level for a high level coach and been in the BCS, for example, like you said, Clemson, let's just use them for example. They're, those guys are in the playoffs every year. These guys have played at a high level. It doesn't matter how hard you work. Most likely this guy's already seasoned. He's already been there. And I'm thinking about basketball too. Like, that changes the dynamics a bit. And therefore, so then you make the decision. So you enter the transfer portal and now you're at Kansas. So let's talk about Kansas, man. First of all, have you gone to, what's it called? What is it called?
Fog Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I've been to a lot of basketball gym, like college basketball. It's definitely probably the most electric atmosphere I've ever seen. Like, it's crazy. Like, they got like chants that are like in sync, like, and it's just like so loud because it's like really small. Like, it's small in there for real. And it's like kind of old, like it's old school, like it's thick, it's like original building and stuff. So like it's loud in there, like it's real loud, and they pack it out. Like, it's sold out every game, every single game. Like, it's sold out. You're standing up and it's like hot. Like, it's like, and they have an effect on the game. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
no doubt.
They definitely, the fans in there have an effect on the game. Like, it would be a very hard place. Like, having played basketball, like it would be a hard place to play for sure. Like,
yeah, like a Cameron Indoor. I mean, at the end of the day, there's only 4,000, whatever, 4,000 or 5,000 people in there, and they're packed in. They're on top of you. It's loud. It does have an effect on a player. It doesn't matter who the player is. You can't shut that out. So when you were, you go in the transfer portal, with your high school process, you had time, you and your mom and dad sat down, looked at the calendar, said, okay, we're going to go here, here, here. We're going to visit. You said it's a short window. Were they able to go with you, or did you have to do this on your own?
Oh, I had a visit to Virginia Tech, and my mom was able to go. And then I had one to Kansas, and both my parents were able to go. I had a couple others scheduled, but I didn't end up going on them. And kind of like the window was very short, so like you had to get them in quick, and it was kind of difficult. So it was really like hard a little bit just because of how quick the process is. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's kind of a little bit better in the sense that once you're in the portal and you've been in school, you know what you're looking for, why you left, and you know what you kind of like want from out of your next school. So it makes it easier to narrow the schools down. And like, you just got to be real with yourself and be real with like your situation, and kind of like, you can't wait it out. Like, oh, I think like I'll be able to get like a bigger offer, like somewhere like bigger school, whatever, in like a week if I just like whatever. Like, no, that's not really how it works in the portal, because at the end of the day, there's like thousands of people in the portal. So whatever opportunities you have, I'd say you just got to capitalize on them, because like that window is short and you really don't have you don't have the whole year to decide. Like,
are you happy with the decision?
Oh yeah. I couldn't have been happier. I honestly did not expect for it to go as well as it's going, and like for me to be as like happy and like at peace, I guess, like as I am with this decision. Like, it's been great. I have no complaints.
What made you choose Kansas? What was it about it that just captured your attention?
So first and foremost, I will be honest. So like the biggest like attraction to Kansas is that they were losing like their 4 oldest D linemen. And so basically I'm in a situation where I've played and I have kind of like some of the most experience out of everybody that's here on the D line, even before the transfer. So we kind of like, the coaches had communicated as it's a situation, because what I was looking for is to be able to have the opportunity to show what I can do and play, compete, and be a starter, and compete to start, and compete to, you know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like how I was looking at it. And this was like one of the best opportunities for that. The next thing was the scheme that they ran. So like on Minnesota, we play a very smart and conservative defense where it's like, all right, everybody's gapped out. Everyone's in their gap. Like, you're all doing one like thing, just like, and every defense has its layers and has its responsibilities and jobs, but like the scheme that we have here allows the D-line to play free and play very aggressive, and you can make like calculated risks and decisions, and like that ultimately can help you make a lot more plays. And so like being able to learn what I've learned from Minnesota and apply that to like my decision process and looking at defenses. Like I'd be up all night in the portal just watching film on like all the schools recruiting me and watching how their D linemen played and what they were kind of allowed to do and getting a sense of that, and then talking to the coaches about it. Like this scheme like fit me perfectly, like what I wanted to do. It allows me to play every position on the D line. There's a package I'm in every position on the D line. So that's kind of, in my mind, helps maximize like my potential as a very versatile athlete to be able to make plays. So those are like the two biggest things. And then after that, I would say I really connected with the coaches and like talking to the players on the visit and stuff. Like you could tell how real it was and like everything. Like a lot of schools in college football, like everyone has a culture basically. And I think like being able to like identify and like understand which cultures are real and which ones are just like for show was kind of important. And I felt like the energy while I was there on the visit, talking to all the gathering and stuff, like the culture is real. It's about the players. Like, so that kind of really attracted me to it because that's something that I wasn't used to as far as like playing and stuff. So it was a hard decision, but at the end of the day, like, it was easy when you laid out kind of like the like pros and cons, things like that. It was good.
It's funny because you talked about, going in as a freshman, and I think I've never been in this position, walked through it a little bit with Austin, but I think you get enamored by the facilities and the color of the uniform and there's probably a lot of other things too as a freshman coming out, when you're a senior in high school. But now that you've been there, done that, what you just talked about is more granular stuff like, can I play? And what's the scheme? And I don't know that a lot of guys, so I think anybody listening to this that's in high school, listen to what Gage is saying, because those things all matter when you get on campus.
Yeah.
They're really important, besides the color of the uniforms and what shoe deal you might get. So let me ask you, has NIL played in at all for you? I know NIL is another thing. We talked about transfer portal, but the other thing that's changing collegiate sports is the NIL. Has it played in at all for you?
Not necessarily in this decision, just because like all the schools I was talking to, like the NIL is kind of like similar. I feel like for a lot of like, especially like here in like Virginia, taking two schools I took official visits to, and then I was also going to take one in Utah. Like just talking to other people and stuff, like the NIL, all of that was very similar, and like it's good, it's positive. So like I was happy really with all of them. So it didn't really play a part into my decision to come here. But I would say that like, I don't know, NIL is a big topic these days, and like, it's kind of, I don't know, it's wild to me too. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as a player, it's crazy too, because like things that would feel like it feels like weird almost, because like you grow up and you're like, oh, like you're seeing college players get in trouble for accepting like money and stuff like that. You're seeing like a guy like Reggie Bush and like things like that. So like, like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of weird to me too, but I don't know. It's cool though. I like it.
Well, I hope you benefit from it. I mean, because it is, look, it's there, it's available for everyone. And like you said, it feels uncomfortable when you see a basketball player, repping a car dealer or something. It's like, you're like, ooh, that's a violation. And it's not anymore. Like it's the Wild West now. So I hope you get a lot of deals with Kansas.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about playing Big 12? It is the Big 12, right? It's Big 12 versus Big 10. What are your thoughts about that?
So the Big Ten, like to me as a football conference, is more of like run heavy power offense, like very like slow, methodical, like sound defense, like things like that. That's kind of what comes to mind. And then Big 12, the biggest thing I've seen so far is it's like speed, it's finesse, and it's like air raid in a sense, like just watching film of like the games from like Kansas last year. It's a lot more passing, a lot of different concepts, like not as power, like downhill runs, more like zone, like weaker kind of runs. So honestly, like I feel like that kind of style of football fits my style of play a little more and size and things like that. So I mean, Big 10 like definitely is very physical. Big 12 is also physical, but it's a different kind of physical. Yeah. And so I feel like, definitely like there's a difference, I would say, but I mean, until I play in like the games, I'll be able to give you like a choose like super answer on that. But just from what I've seen like so far, those are like the things I've noticed.
So I have one more question for you, but first, for anybody listening, if you've listened this long, we are working on possibly some in-season podcast stuff. So we'll be hearing more from Gage. And, I could tell you from Columbus, Ohio, and I'm sure wherever Austin is, we'll be watching because we're fans. Love you, love your family, and always appreciate your support of me and everything I've done. And so very, very proud of you. Last question is, did you look at North Carolina?
Honestly, none of the coaches hit me up, so I didn't know.
Come on, Mac.
No, yeah, they didn't reach out, unfortunately, but they got a good program over there, football wise. Like it's on the up for real. Like I heard a lot about them last season. They got some good players. So
yeah, they lost a lot of good players, so there was probably some opportunity, and their defense is terrible. So I don't like to see. I mean, they can score on anybody, but they can't stop anybody. So it would have been nice to see Gage Keys on that line, for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right. You coming home anytime soon?
Yeah, so I'll be home, I think, from the 17th to like the 24th in the summer in May. And then I might come back the week before fall camp starts. I'll probably be there for that week. And those are really the only breaks, I guess, I'll have this summer.
All right. Well, we're going to talk again soon. We're going to put some plot, to what we talked about earlier. Man, I appreciate you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for believing in us and giving us the platform to share your story and just spending some time chopping it up, talking about all the things we did. I think it's informative for people because it's real easy for us as fans to just sit back and have opinions on NIL and recruiting and, transfer portal. And at the end of the day, we don't know. You've been in the arena. And so, but we're proud of you. Always. Hilliard's just very, very proud of you. Always.
Appreciate it for sure. That means a lot.
All right, brother. We'll talk again very soon. Thanks for coming on. And
sounds good.
All right. We'll talk soon and stay in touch because there's more coming from Gage.
Oh yeah, we'll say we got some big things coming for sure. So yes, sir.
Thank you for listening to the latest episode of the Unscripted podcast. Please remember to like and share. We'll be back soon with another amazing guest, but until then, remember to live each day unscripted.